So I could say about when Shirley goes into the venue and she whips them up into a...
Oh, I do.
Say, oh, I help on registration because I love seeing everyone, and you're like, do not mention the parking, okay?
Oh, Leigh, you're my favourite bit of behind the scenes of an event.
And I think our unofficial debrief calls after every event is what really keeps me going, because I know I haven't upset you by sending you 58 messages when you ring me afterwards and go, are you all right, Leigh? How was that one? So I'm here today with our Supersonic event director, Shirley Wynne-Jones, to reflect on 20 years of business events in the Central South.
Thanks, Leigh. It's great to be here.
Shirley, there's a lot of business events in our region. I should think there's probably one every other day. What makes the Business South events unique apart from you?
Well, I would say that we give a lot of thought to the content of our events, the locations. We depend very heavily on the feedback that we've received from previous events from our champions. And every single event that we put on for Business South is bespoke. And we try not to repeat the format of events so that we're keeping things fresh.
I wouldn't agree more, actually. And I think that probably because we just listen to what is going on, and we're quite bold with the feedback, aren't we? And say, look, good and bad, just tell us about your experience, because even after 20 years, we're still learning and we still want to make sure that those events have the polish that they've always had.
Absolutely. And if we want our champions and our partners and our sponsors to come on board, what they've got to say is so important, and building what they've got to say into the next event and the next year of events is my priority.
I'd like to ask you, what has been your most memorable event over the last 20 years?
I would say, just to quantify that, we have probably welcomed 250,000 delegates to events hosted by Business South over the 20 years, which is a great achievement. And my favourite event has to be our flagship event, the Business South Annual Conference, which we work so hard to deliver each year with an amazing keynote speaker, amazing panels, a great venue, and we always have 250 plus delegates in attendance at that event. There's always challenges, which we overcome. There's always feedback to be considered once again, but it's most certainly my favourite.
Yeah, and I think you're forever the swan, Shirley. You say that there are challenges to overcome, but we don't ever know about those, particularly me. So I'm thankful of that. I think particularly the speakers that we attract for that event, we always feel proud when we leave a Business South event of what the team have achieved, but that annual conference, as you say, is our flagship, and some of the keynotes that we've had over the years, it's been like a who's who of the business and political world, hasn't it?
Absolutely, and a couple spring to mind. Owen Jones, he was fabulous. I thought Michael Portillo, the year we had him, he was just brilliant, and he made a personal effort to go round to every table at the conference and say hi and meet our champions, which was fantastic. Andrew Neil, we had the annual conference one year on a cruise ship courtesy of Carnival, which was fabulous, and the challenges of getting a high profile name like Andrew Neil on to a ship with his passport details and then off again before any of the other delegates were able to alight. Those challenges come with every annual conference, but that one does spring to mind as quite an interesting event.
It is funny how people stick in your minds for good and bad, don't they?
Oh yeah, there's definitely been some divas. Yes. I wouldn't say the keynotes, but I've definitely had some diva moments working with speakers for 20 years. Yeah,
and I think when we had Professor Robert Winston at the Winchester Science Centre, I mean, it literally felt like you had a superstar in the room, didn't it? Because we're all used to seeing him on the telly and hearing him on the radio, and suddenly he's popping along to Winchester.
I know, to be with us at our event. You've just got to stay calm and almost pretend that you don't realise that they're that famous.
Yeah. And interestingly, I think some of those high-profile speakers are often a bit more nervous than you would give them credit for.
Yeah.
So part of our role is to reassure them and make them feel comfortable, isn't it?
Yeah, so a big part of every event that I deliver are the briefings that take place for the speakers, for any panels, for the host, just to, like you say, keep them calm, keep them focused, let them know, that there's a production team behind every event there to help them, and just reassuring them really that I'm there.
Yeah, and I think my highlight, I know he wasn't there in person, but I think one of my highlights was Rishi Sunak, because he was Prime Minister at the time, and on the Central Southometer, he actually said Central South 7 times, and I jumped up in my chair 7 times, because somebody cynically said, well, you did brief him, and yeah, we did brief him, but he was the Prime Minister. He didn't have to say Central South 7 times, but I think on my wish list is Andy Burnham. I don't know whether he would say Central South 7 times, but if he just came, I'd be happy with that.
Well, we connected with him at MIPIM
we did.
This year and last year, so let's see what happens there. And Andy, if you're watching, please come and speak at our event soon.
Shirley, what do you think has been the most significant change in the reach of the Business South events?
Most definitely it is to do with the way that we have grown our reach. So going back 20 years, we were Business Southampton, and we primarily held almost all of our events, and at that time around 100 events a year in the Southampton region. We then evolved into Business Solent and started hosting our events in Southampton, Portsmouth, Isle of Wight, and then came Business South. And as Business South, we have really reached out. We started our first event out of the region, really, was MIPIM UK 2015. We headed off to London with the support of Ordnance Survey and some of our partners, and we really spoke about our region at a national event. And more recently, we have taken our message globally. We've had 5 years at MIPIM in the south of France in March. Last year we were at Expo Real in Germany, in Munich, and we just have future plans to really reach out in many more global directions.
And I think, Shirley, that you gave me the confidence to do that, because I think we were very much a regional business organisation, which we very much are, but to be able to take that next step and share that message on an international stage, you really need someone by your side to make that stuff happen.
Oh, it is absolutely teamwork. I can do the logistics and work out the budgets that are going to be needed to make this happen. But yeah, the team are definitely behind making it happen. And Yuli, you go out and get those partners, which are a force for all of those visits to expos that we're currently doing.
And I think going back to our uniqueness, that public-private sector partnership is just so important to us. And kindly, someone from Portsmouth did say at the recent Leeds event that the friendship goes a long way, and I think that's how we all feel, does it? Because our end goal is the same. We want the region to be successful, we want a place to be proud of, and we want jobs and homes for everybody. So the more we can put us on that national and international stage, the more that all feels within reach. So I think that's the thing, it's all working towards that same goal, isn't it?
And the collaboration is so important. You mentioned it's a friendship. It definitely feels like that, especially when we're taking a delegation overseas. And we really need to stick together, and the message is loud and clear.
And really, our events have been such a great platform for engaging with the rest of the UK. If you remember, we boldly said on year 2 of MIPIM with our colleague Gavin Hall from Savills, well, let's do a UK PLC event, we lightly said, didn't we? With no resource, no budget and no process, but we pulled it off, and now it's just a fantastic set of events during the, MIPIM in Cannes.
And that was great for Business South to be part of that instalment of if you like, of the UK hub, as it's now known, at MIPIM. But yes, that was certainly driven by us, by you and I. We picked up the phone, we got other cities doing the same as us together and said, why don't we talk to the international audience as the UK?
Yeah.
And we made it happen, and it has just grown stronger, which is fabulous.
Yeah, brilliant. And the relationship with the British Property Federation and DBT, Department of Business and Trade, because they want us to be working in a more collaborative way, don't they? So we kind of were the conduit for that, really.
Yeah. So we've done 5 years of MIPIM, and here's to many more global events. I know that we can do it, and we can take that Central South message out there.
Yeah. Shirley, we're embarking on a time of great change for the region, with local government reorganisation, devolution, and soon to be a mayor, if everything lines up, which I'm sure it will. How do you imagine Business South being that vehicle to further strengthen that important collaboration?
I feel we're in a really strong position, Leigh, and we already have those amazing relationships with businesses and government representatives. We're apolitical, we're non-profit, we don't have an agenda other than bringing business to our region. So I feel that when the relevant people are in post, we will reach out, we'll work with them, and we'll help to deliver the message to strengthen our region at all of our events, not just our global and national ones, but also the ones that are taking place in our region.
Yeah. Thanks ever so much for joining me today, Shirley. I know you have a super busy work life, so thank you. And here's to the next 20 years.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure to be involved for the whole of the 20 years so far, and I can't wait for the next part.